it's important to actually record things, because otherwise you waste a whole bunch of time, and nobody likes wasting time.
That happened recently?
No, not recently.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to LRM Online. Marvel Multiverse Mondays presents Loki Thursdays, this time on a Monday. Brought to you by Grow Generation. Where the pros go to grow. It's a Sunday morning, folks. Early afternoon. So, I also didn't prepare any notes or anything for this episode.
That's all right. We can. I mean,
I don't think it'll be a problem.
There's only really two important scenes, if you will, that you have to set up, and then everything else is basically just them going through and spreading the gospel of the TVA. You know, it was a very, very interesting episode. I'll say between Nick being ill on Wednesday and then some personal drama, some of you may notice there was a lack of shows Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for the podcast network. We had some personnel and some technical issues, and shit happens, but we got it. There'll be 2 episodes this week, 2 episodes next week, because we'll be here on Monday again for our Black Widow talk.
Black Widow on Marvel Multiverse Monday. Marvel Multiverse movies, and then I don't know. Excuse me, I'm coffee, so let me have something that makes one cough left.
Nick is dying. Now I thought it was a really good episode. I didn't hate last week like a lot of people seem to have, and I found myself again. I love the talking. I love the chit chatting. I love the I dug that. And like I said, here it's really there's just 2 big things going on. Well, I guess you could say kind of 3, because if you want to count the very ending of it as its own, but you have what Loki is going through, and then Morbius. I watched The Matrix this weekend, which holds up really, really well.
I always want to call him Morbius anyway.
Yeah, but Mobius, grappling with the truth of the fact that he's a variant himself, and then like I said, the ending where you get the reveal of the agents, the android agents or whatever, timekeepers. There you go.
So obviously we're on spoilers instantly. That's how we do the show. Again, like last week, I was a little disappointed by the episode. I like all Marvel, though I would throw Incredible Hulk under the bus. And if I really had to, I would throw both the first 2 Thor movies under a bus, even though we watched them and enjoy them. If I had to,
the first one was pretty good still. Yeah. I think it holds up real well.
But they were like, you have to take 3 Marvel projects out behind the barn and shoot them. Those would be the 3, not Loki's. Everything is good. Marvel's good. But like last week, this episode felt like there was a lot of nothing. And then all the twists and the action was in the last 10 minutes.
I don't know. Do you think people are just wanting too much to happen? I think this show, it feels like a slow burn because we're supposed to be enjoying chit chats with Loki. That's what he's known for is talking, right? They make it a joke, a point in this show. Yeah, you keep doing the trailer thing. They make it a point to point that out in the show, and I don't know if people, because everyone's like, oh well, when they fight it doesn't feel right, and then it's like, well, if all they do is talk, it's not exciting enough. And I don't know, I guess I just, each one of the 3 TV series that have come out so far has had a couple of misses, but overall, I don't think there's been one where at any point where I'm just like, I did not like that
No,
episode.
that's what I'm saying. I still like it. I think again we're still in the realm of my least favorite episodes on Disney Plus so far of any series. I think part of it with Loki is that it started so fast that I thought it would be the quickest of all the shows, where really it's even slower than WandaVision in revealing stuff once it gets into it. Because the first episode's like, oh yeah, we're going to chase a variant. We learned all about the world. And each episode is spent learning a lot about the characters and I guess the world building a little bit, but it doesn't feel as like satisfying as the one episode that was all about Sam Wilson back and Falcon the Winter Soldier. Like none of the character development feels as earned as whether we're learning about Sylvie or Loki or B-15 or something. None of it feels as Hunter B-15. None of it feels as earned as other, like, when Winter Soldier does character development for like half an episode or something.
Yeah. One of the things that we learned about Ravonna's past, having accidentally let go of the Sylvie variant Loki, she somehow still gets to be where she's at.
That's suspicious.
Right, which I wonder if we all expect Kang to be involved in the MCU because of Quantum Mania, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania.
Well, he will eventually be in the MCU, but the question
would Quantum Mania be Ant-Man and the Wasp 2 or Ant-Man 3?
Technically Ant-Man 3. I mean, it's a trilogy. Come on.
But anyways,
that's a good question.
I don't think, I haven't thought Kang would actually make a noticeable appearance in this show, and I still don't. I think maybe we get a voice, possibly at most, but I'm not saying that we will, and I don't really think we need it. I really wonder if Kang goes off to do something, if they kind of role flip a little bit, where in the comics, Ravonna is not necessarily with Kang of her own volition at all times. Sometimes it's more of a labor of love. But I wonder if maybe she's trying to get to him somehow, and she's the puppet master behind the TVA. I wouldn't mind that. Mm-hmm. I didn't really look at this show to have necessarily a groundbreaking effect on the MCU. I figured it would just help explain more stuff as we're set to go forward, and that we would get to spend 6 hours with Loki, and
mm-hmm.
for me, it's accomplishing that much so far. Maybe not as much on the explaining the MCU. We've gotten, a little bit of hints on time and timelines and stuff, but there's still two more episodes to go. So
it'll be interesting. One of the things Easter eggs people are pointing to is her number is A something, and it's the first issue Kang ever showed up. Avengers.
Yeah.
But Marvel fucks with you all the time with stuff like that.
Yeah, they're always
in the era of us talking Mephisto. I really want to be careful even mentioning Kang, though it is a possibility. I don't think he'll be a big part of it.
Anyone that thinks the fact that you didn't see a Mephisto or a Mephisto amalgamation character with like a pandemonium or something, if you think because you didn't see it in WandaVision that means that's out the window.
Oh, no.
Haven't read the comics.
And that's not what I mean either, because we know Kang for sure is coming. I just don't want to jump to the gun and point Kang. Exactly. That's Kang.
And that's the thing, is we don't need him in this. Him being something to either get to or away from, and that's another thing. Imagine if the TVA is really a prison for Kang. What if that's what's kind of going on? And by keeping track of time and the timeline in a certain way, you prevent him from being able to come back, right? You keep delaying Iron Lad or one of the three versions. I don't know what version they'll end up going with. Maybe the Egyptian one. I'm not sure. I don't know, but I think that's a possibility. Like the TVA, as we see it, could be used to kind of keep Kang at bay. And what a trip that would be. Because they brought up a point in the last episode about Loki's failing, right? Mm-hmm. And so what if at the end of the series,
destiny to fail,
right? What if they're succeeding freeze Kang?
That was a theory that's floating around. Right. Okay. So a little bit out. Okay. So I don't even feel like we need to get to the episode itself order right now, but so you know how early in the episode they get saved because they somehow create a spike right before a disaster event, even though the disaster event would wipe everyone out.
Right.
Everyone's like, it's love, or or whatever. It could be here. I've heard there are two different reasons why maybe that broke the TVA's timeline. One, Loki isn't supposed to like anyone else, so the fact that two Lokis are even friendly to each other and not backstabbing would break a timeline. Or the fact that Loki never dies and Loki was about to die itself could break the timeline.
That could be interesting. Yeah.
Which would be really, because it's like, oh no, two Lokis are about to die, but Lokis never die. Or maybe Renslayer releasing Sylvie was the sacred timeline. And her dying is not part of the sacred timeline. Maybe he doesn't give a fuck at what happens to our Loki.
And that's kind of what I like about this show so far is it almost doesn't matter what happens. Like we know at the end of the day we could get a really cool piece of world building, but we don't need something profound. And I think maybe that's one of the drawbacks to the post Endgame era is we got really, really high, like real high, and we'll never reach that again. It's not going. I don't care.
I was watching it yesterday. We'll never have an extravaganza like that.
The first appearance of Reed in the MCU won't do it. The first appearance of Doom won't do it. I mean, those will all be great moments and chilling and still get your hair, but nothing's going to beat seeing Cap call Mjolnir back after throwing it, hearing Sam's on your left, seeing Doctor Strange floating down through his portal and the Guardians and Peter Reacher. Nothing's going to top Avengers Assemble for the first time ever mentioned on screen in its entirety. Nothing will ever top that, and that's okay. I'm able to temper the expectations a bit, and I really, really enjoy this. What'd you think of the big shock cameo? Lady Sif back, man. What I did not.
Finally.
We didn't even know about that.
I didn't realize she was missing from Ragnarok.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that until I looked at her appearances. I'm like, oh, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah,
and
right?
Thor the Dark World I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was after Thor the Dark World.
So it's kind of crazy to they kept that a pretty big secret. I figured there would be, because of the stuff that we saw that we thought might be Asgard miscolored even. I kept thinking, it's going to be something connected with his mom, and we did get some mommy stuff, but the Lady Sif showing up was really cool. I dug it.
Here's one little issue I have with the Marvel series the more they go on. I'm a little concerned that based on what happened to the ABC series and the Netflix series, that they're not willing to pay one of their A-listers to even have like a 5-minute cameo in it. I don't think we're gonna get a Chris Hemsworth. I wouldn't expect Chris Hemsworth, but I would have expected an A-lister to show up at somewhere in their first 3 series. Like Sif is great, Don Cheadle's great, Doctor Strange was supposed to be in
Yeah,
WandaVision.
I was gonna say, but
but
aren't the stars themselves? I mean, I'd consider Hiddleston an A-list Marvel
that's true.
character.
But like at the same time, like they're giving characters who haven't been worthy of their own movies, TV shows, and we're
Right.
not seeing a bigger crossover than other level
Well,
characters at their level.
I don't know. I guess
Like we
the
haven't seen like a
characters-
Thor pop up, or
Right.
it doesn't even have to be a main. Doesn't have to be one of the big 3 or 4.
But
Like Hawkeye even pop up or something.
It kind
even though
of
he has his own
feels.
series.
It kind of feels like even, because you know, this takes place theoretically, in 2012. At least that's where it starts, right? And then it goes all over the place. But that's the year that
time
we
moves different once
enter.
it's sucked
Exactly.
out of, yeah.
That's the year that we enter this story. But the last 2 both take place before Far From Home, or I think Falcon and Winter Soldier is like right around the same time or close to it or whatever. But we're dealing with a universe post Thanos. Like, you got to think, even some of the biggest beings in the world 6 months ago went, what the fuck was that? Like, or 5 years, 6 months ago went, what the fuck is that?
And I guess I shouldn't be worried.
You know,
isn't Hulk confirmed for She-Hulk? Like,
yeah,
like Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah.
And then I would expect Captain Marvel to be in at least the very end of Miss Marvel.
Maybe.
Or maybe she just gets talked to by a scroll or something. But
possibly. I think Monica will end up having maybe
right,
a bigger part than.
But yeah, I guess the Hulk
Carol
is what
West.
I'm looking for, and if one show does it, they've proved me wrong already.
I get. I mean, if you're looking for an A-list Avenger to pop up in some of these shows, I don't know.
Like, I know it would cost extra, but like Spider-Man's almost the perfect guy to pop up for just a few minutes in like a New York set show.
But
that
would
Sony
require Sony contacting and fuck Sony. So
maybe they'll let Venom appear in the TV shows without the movie.
You know, the next big part, and we're not big on breaking down all the Easter eggs and things like that here, but the next big thing, you know, after Loki's captured and he deals with the Lady Sif stuff for a bit, Mobius talking to him because he's a little upset about not knowing exactly what happened to those that were taken enchanted by Sylvie.
Like C20, who just went crazy and
exactly. So he starts to have some doubts, not necessarily on the level of what he's about to, but he goes back to talk to Loki, and Loki tells him the truth. He goes and Mobius confronts
Loki.
Yeah, he
saying Sylvie's dead, and Loki actually freaks out a little bit.
He does, and he goes to Renslayer's office. Tricks her to get her temp pad so he can, you know, see what's going on, sees that she that indeed they are variants and things like that. And then you have,
and he talks to B-15 also, who's been investigating,
and B-15 helps Sylvie temporarily go to Roxcart Apocalypse area so she can be reminded, you know, shown her memories, and they go to assist the other Loki, who has a really great moment with Mobius, and this is where you get your big turnaround moment for Loki, so to speak, and either an incredibly heart-wrenching moment or thanks to the trailer we know Mobius is not necessarily gone. Maybe that Mobius might be, but Mobius himself, Owen Wilson's going to come back for at least one more episode.
I think it's the same Mobius. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. You'll get to it, because the other twist, the question is, does everyone is Loki survive and sent to a different dimension because he's a Loki, or is everyone who gets trimmed just end up in like some dead universe?
Is it like some purgatory, some Sakaar level?
My theory is that,
you know, whatever,
everyone gets sent to somewhere, and because we see Mobius in a car or something in one of the trailers.
Exactly. But
the lighting's off, like it could be a dead universe.
Well, I think that is,
it also could be the past. It could be,
I think that's where the President Loki stuff happens. So maybe next episode, if not the last episode. But there you get that really good conversation with Mobius and Loki about, what is it? Do you really think you deserve, nothing, that you're garbage? And then he has that moment where it's like, oh, you have value. If no one ever told you before that you have value, you have value.
You could be good or bad if you want.
Yeah,
Anyone
you could be a piece of shit if you choose to be, but you could choose to be good. And it's that great moment, and then turn around and boom, Renslayer's there. Lives
last
up.
line is jet ski.
Yeah, lives up to her name of Slayer.
Yeah.
But dude, like I love how he just lays it on. He's like, I know everything. Like, fuck you, bitch. Like I know I'm tracking. I got it. And this is horror. And like you said, man, the jet ski thing, like I like that.
I didn't mean to skim over it too much, but Lady Sif was great, by the way. Just that little loop she's in.
That's why I brought her up. I was like,
yeah, I know you brought up. I didn't give her enough credit. Those scenes, and like he's like, it's almost like Groundhog Day, where he's like trying to convince her it's happened before, and he's already sorry, and she listens to him, and then she's still like, she'll like pick him up and then kick him in the nuts and punch him across the face. And then I like the first time it happens where he's like, so what? After this, I got drunk and like I had some wine and blah blah blah. Then she comes back out.
Yeah.
I think that's in Greek and Norse mythology, something about cutting.
I don't remember
hair or something.
Some Easter egg
like
video mentioned it. I think it was New Rock Stars, and they mentioned.
Watch any of them
I couldn't remember if it was from the comics or from actual.
Maybe it's the comics then.
Yeah, you know what is coming though? This ad from our sponsors over at Grow Generation. That's coming right now.
Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. Grow Generation is your one-stop shop for hydroponic grow supplies, product systems, and more. Grow Generation serves customers across the nation and carries a wide inventory of renowned cultivation brands. Go to www.growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow.
Yay! Thank you, significant other, for that ad read. Yeah, dude. So, what did you think when you first saw Mobius get pruned?
I was upset.
Everyone was, because
like, not like I hate the show, but like, no.
Yeah, because that's what they sold everyone on, was Mobius and Loki, and so far we've gotten Mobius and Loki, not Mobius and Loki, Mobius and Loki, not Mobius and Loki. And
I mean, even when Mobius is the antagonist against Loki, meaning he's trying to fix things, Mobius is never a bad guy. In fact, Loki could have been pruned at the beginning of the season if Mobius hadn't like stepped in. He like has some fascination with Loki that I almost wonder comes from a previous life or something. Or actually, the other rumor I saw is maybe Renslayer's a Loki variant that's trying to get rid of all the other Loki variants. That'd be way off from the comics, but
yeah,
we're in the MCU now, baby.
Yeah, it's fine if they deviate some. I mean, look, everyone's wondering this fall when the Miss Marvel hits, or next winter or whatever it is. I can't remember, but everyone's wondering, what is she? What is she? Is she Inhuman? Is she mutant? What is she? Something different? Are they going to explain her getting cosmic powers by exposure somehow? Like, what are they gonna do with her?
Because her and Photon are like are like Cap. They're enhanced. They went through an experience that maybe mutated their genes, but like they're enhanced because just like what Quicksilver was and what we thought Scarlet Witch was before. They were given their powers by a stone or by.
That's what I'm saying.
Photon was given it by magic, so that's a little different.
Yeah, we don't know what she. We know in the comics she's Inhuman, but we don't know what she's gonna be.
Oh yeah, and this one she has half Kree blood because they give her the transfusion.
Miss Marvel.
Oh, Miss Marvel. Oh yeah, I have no idea.
That's what I'm saying.
She's probably Inhuman.
We're all wanting to know, like, because they've erased the Inhumans from the MCU. As of now, there are no Inhumans. They used them up in the
non-MCU, and now they probably don't want to bring them up again.
That's the thing. But so what do you do with her? But anyways, back to Loki. I was shocked and sad until the final scene, and then you're like, okay, that's an out. But before they get to the final scene, B-15, I think it is, comes in and helps Loki escape with Sylvie, and they go after the or no, they're going to be taken to
They're
the
all brought
Time
up,
Lords.
and
That's
B-15
right. And
wants to
B-15
come.
comes in and
Mobius
messes
is
it
already
up.
dead. Yeah.
I was
Trimmed.
so mad at the CGI for the Time Lords.
I was at first, and then I didn't care when we found out they were Chuck E. Cheese robots.
It doesn't make them look like androids. Look, the two of them are. It's the green one. The green one
with like the felt face.
So bad.
It looks like he's a Muppet.
So bad.
He has like this mustache that looks like it's just felt stuck to a
so
mustache.
bad.
I thought I was really pissed, and then when they were all robots, I'm like, oh, he's just a crappily, like he's not.
But
he's like from show at a distance. He's not even a functioning robot. He's like a robot whose just his head can move. I
guess, man, because
they spared many expense.
So bad. Like the CGI is just. It doesn't even look like it looks like CGI. Like, but you can't seeing a robot would look kind of like an animatronic, where it's like surreal, where it's almost like, wait, it's not moving quite right, or something's off, but not like that. No, that was yeah, it's hard to watch, and it's upsetting because that's yet another pandemic production that has suffered shitty CGI yet again. Anyway,
I still think at the very least that was intentional in a way where it's like, what one scene can we not afford to make look super pretty? And they're like, let's do the one where they're robots anyway.
I guess it was
because it's crazy. I never realized that they're still finishing these series as they're airing.
Oh,
it doesn't happen with most Netflix programs. Like, because that's almost what I blame for liking each episode less, is it feels like each script wasn't as polished as the last as far as developing characters. Like the dialogue itself, I would say, starts great first episode, second episode.
This was one of the first that started filming. This and Falcon Winter Soldier, I think, were the first two in the shoot, and we got some of our earliest information.
I think this was supposed to come out third of the three, though.
Maybe
in the original teaser they showed back before the pandemic, they only had one clip of Loki from this series, and it's not even a clip that's in the series.
Right, and but he was the first one to come out and be like, "Oh, we get to spend 6 more hours with Loki," and kind of dropped. It's going to be like this 6 episode. So some of these things, they had some stuff already written, planned out fairly well, but yeah, as far as actually filming and putting together, they definitely feel a lot, and not just Marvel. It's everyone out there. So
I like what was I gonna say? So he gets pruned after they're revealed to be robots, right?
Yeah, there's the big fight. She chops off the head. They turn around. There's or he's turns to her and he's like, "Hey, we'll go deal with this together." Yada yada, and boom, you just see his chest start glowing, and you're like, "Ah, no!" You're like, "Yeah, sure, you could go get another one, but that one, what the fuck?" But then you're like, "Oh well, it's time, and who knows what we could do, and yada yada," and you're just left there shocked and wondering what's going to happen with Sylvie before the cut to black, and then the mid credits with Loki waking up, and lo and behold, there's old
4 Lokis.
Old Loki, and
which they call classic Loki, unfortunately.
Classic Loki.
That's the guy I was talking about. That's the actor I was talking about. I forgot he was also in Rise of Skywalker.
The kid.
They just threw him in.
Kid
Loki.
And then Loki with a hammer of sorts.
I forgot what they call that Loki. He has a name too.
Yeah.
No, it's not Worthy Loki, but
Warrior Loki or something.
I don't know. It's almost like it's a weird title for him. Then Crocky, or wait.
Well,
they have a nickname for Loki the Croc.
The alligator. The alligator is not its own character. It belongs to the. It belongs.
He
to
has
the
his
boy.
own set of horns on his head.
I know, but it was apparent. Someone said it was from the
Crokey.
comics.
Crokey. That's what people are calling him. Crokey. Look it up, because I'm not sure. But I just thought maybe it was just a reference to if anything, it's a reference to Thor being a frog. And then Loki, of course, would be a crocodile or an alligator if Thor was a
Yeah,
frog.
people are debating on whether or not it's just a throwback to Loki and his thing with animals or an actual variant that's an
I
alligator.
think it's an actual variant who turned himself into a croc and couldn't turn himself back and then got trimmed because that's not supposed to what happened to Loki.
Yeah.
And so now he's not going to do anything impressive. He can't do magic anymore. We might just see him sliding across one or two scenes, and that'll be. But I do think he's a Loki variant.
I hope so. When someone said that it might be related to just Loki and animals, I was kind of like, well, that would be lame. Like, why not have an alligator? Like, you've got Spider Ham, so why not?
Please tell me it has Tom Hiddleston's voice and it can talk in future episodes.
Oh man.
And they're at some reality where New York is destroyed.
Yeah, and it doesn't look. It looks like by like a tidal wave or something.
And then the era of Avengers Tower, so it wouldn't be in like 2025 or anything. It would be closer to the time period he came from.
Yeah. Before 2016, at least. And
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's maybe some alternate reality that's the New York that got nuked in 2012.
Well, I mean,
like maybe the dead realities are where they throw people because they don't have to trim that reality if it happens. It's like, oh, oopsie, that was a apocalypse reality. Let's just let it play out, like kill itself.
Yeah, like the land Loki conquered. That would be kind of funny. Like that's where you won the Battle of New York, is this prison, this hellhole. Like you won, and then Thanos left you on Earth. That'd be hilarious.
That destroyed all of their life.
Yeah. But I can see the nuke thing because, like I said, it looks like all the buildings are pushed in. So depending on where the nuke goes off. Yeah, exactly. But it could also be like a tidal wave. I guess when people were mentioning the nuke, I was always like, well, wouldn't it have gone off close to the tower? Like,
would have, I think.
You know, they were aiming towards the portal to begin with. That's why Iron Man was able to follow it and not really have to. He said, you know, save the jets for the turn. Talking about when they're going to turn to go up. And he basically just rides with the rocket to its target. That was the only reason why I was like, maybe it's a natural disaster, tidal wave or something. And then you think about their focus on natural disasters.
Natural disasters a lot. Historical and
people could
future.
People could not really take into account the whole. They're like, oh yeah, there was going to be a nuke in that Avengers movie, right? Yeah, just nuke New York and throw in some. It could be a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Just one of those things where us super geeks fucking go you missed it. You missed it. You fucked up. Ha ha. I got you. But we'll see what it is.
So here's a question I have. Okay, so they mentioned, at least when she's telling her story, Sylvie, at the beginning, she's talking about how they let her branch grow too long. So does that mean as far as we understand trimming, of course, now trimming we have a little bit different understanding for, but we still don't know we know how it works differently on people. We don't know how it works about if it actually erases an entire reality. But wouldn't that mean everyone who had lived on that curve since she was born would be erased going forward?
Basically, yeah.
Basically, the whole universe is erased for the sin of them allowing a female Loki to live for that long.
Pretty much.
So like that entire arm where Odin and Thor and everyone's been living on that arm.
She doesn't know.
As we understand the clipping at this point.
And she doesn't know why. She doesn't reveal why. People are
when they
assuming.
Get super suspicious.
People are assuming because of her line, because I was born the goddess of mischief. But
they let it last too long. She has a line like that too.
Yeah, and I think again, I'm barking up the Renslayer is a much more hands-on player than some people may have thought she was in episodes 1 and 2.
I definitely think again, we don't know about Kang. I definitely think she's at the top, or at least thinks she's at the top. I don't know. But we need to know what her motivation is.
Yeah.
It's just power. I mean, it's like Thanos. It's power. You can decide
like
what
I said,
does exist and what doesn't. I rewatched Endgame last night. It's really interesting to watch them talk about time travel and the branching realities, you know, and then and then I rewatched Loki right after that.
I'm watching Widow's arc. So I started with Iron Man 2, and then we watched Avengers the other day, and gonna watch Winter Soldier today or tomorrow, and then Age of Ultron and Civil War before we see Black Widow on Thursday, and then over the weekend I plan to watch Infinity War and Endgame.
Because they confirmed it's between Civil War and Infinity War.
Yes.
Right. That's cool.
Yes.
Before we knew the date, I was really worried about when it was set. Before they said that, I think they said that fairly recently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's going to be stuff leading up to Civil War.
Yeah.
And
wouldn't be surprised if we see some form of Budapest.
Place. Yeah.
It'd be nice. It'd be really cool if we saw Budapest. Everyone wants to.
So.
And then the other question I have, or complaint, I guess this is more of a complaint, which is why this is why I don't like the last few episodes that much. They just fixed everything from last episode. I thought that was going to be like the turning point, where it's like, oh no, too many branching realities, we can't stop it. No, they sent out enough Minutemen and repaired everything perfectly by the time they had to save the Lokis. So you look at the screen and you're like, oh, it's back to the. I thought that was the tipping point. And this episode's even called Nexus Event, and this episode isn't the tipping point either.
Yeah.
For any kind of multiverse, like.
And I think that's just showing you that it's all a lie. That there might not be an actual tipping point. That these branch realities don't necessarily have to be pruned. And I think that might be what's being revealed. Is that
how much of it is bullshit and how much isn't? What are the odds? Do you think that? Again, I thought of this. Literally, there was a line. I mean, it's been guessed before, but after seeing the Endgame line, that's exactly identical to a line from Loki. Do you think this could be the small city inside of the quantum realm that we've seen little peeks at?
Maybe. I don't know.
Because you know how it's the exact same line Mobius says, where he's like, "Time doesn't work the same way here."
Right.
Like it's exactly the same phrasing, not
right.
like not one word off. When Ant-Man says, "Oh, time doesn't work the same way in here," and he's talking about the quantum realm, or after he gets out.
The quantum realm is a great guess, for both the TVA and for Chronopolis, because time doesn't work.
Oh,
the same.
Chronopolis is Kang's place, right?
Exactly.
Wouldn't they be one and the same in this version? Maybe.
Possibly.
He after he just he takes down the TVA, or once the illusion's removed, it's just Chronopolis or whatever you called it.
Possibly.
That could work.
But it could
like,
go.
It's all been an illusion. You fools.
It can be both. Both the TVA exists in the quantum realm, and Chronopolis does within its own little bubble itself. Because you got to remember, it looks tiny inside of the quantum realm, so it's potentially a thing in and of its own self, you know. And then the TVA could be something in and of its own self. I really like the idea of there being a prison, and whether or not she's trying to get out of it, trying to keep it running, to keep something in, or to make Kang happy. Either way, I think she is a willing participant and very well aware of what her Renslayer, that is, what her actions are. And what they're
in the clip
for.
You see on the tablet or whatever, she's not surprised when C20 tells her that stuff.
Yeah.
She's more like, no one should know, face.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm happy that I really don't know what to expect next episode. I got an idea. Like I said, I got this feeling that the TVA really is a prison of sorts. I just don't know if it's more of a prison for one being or multiple beings, like an entire universe, so to speak. I don't know, but that's kind of the feeling that I get, and she's either holding down the fort to impress, to do it for to assist someone like Kang, or maybe she's trying to do it to keep him, you know, at bay. Like I said, maybe the TVA is his prison, and then, like I said, it's almost too obvious now, but to have the Lokis win, end up releasing Kang would just be, it would still work, even though it now seems like too easy. I think that's still a good choice.
But if Kang, this version of Kang, is a Loki variant, is that going too far? Changing the comics?
No.
But of course, it doesn't look anything like him. It's like somebody like all three of the Lokis we saw at the end. They don't look like they don't look like Tom Hiddleston. Sylvie doesn't look like Tom Hiddleston.
Are we gonna get Mr. Majors in blue makeup, or, you know,
that's the other thing
we don't know, and then none of it really matters, because he's up to 3 different people, and you got a Richards connection, an Iron Man connection, and something related to ancient Egypt, if I recall correctly, and he could look however, just hopefully with better CGI, if they have to use any, than they did for the Time Lords.
I say you just make him look like a human for the first few, and maybe by the time he's an Avengers level threat, he's like transformed himself a bit.
Yeah, he might
he can just fuck off for what feels like 5 minutes for everyone else. It's like hundreds of years for him, and like come back for the Avengers.
Yeah, it is kind of weird, and I wonder what additional heroes we might see in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
That's a good question. I didn't even think of that.
Because Kang is not.
He's an Avengers level. Like,
he's
Fantastic
not
Four,
a nobody.
Avengers.
Yeah, he's not a nobody. This is not something you leave to the Defenders or Heroes for Hire. You know.
Well, maybe even though Ant-Man and the Wasp is more of a traditionally comedic trilogy, or whatever you call this one, maybe it's not a trilogy but maybe this one doesn't have that happy of an ending if their main villain is Kang. But we know why Kang is headed to that movie, obviously. It makes sense why he shows up there first, because they're the ones who Scott Lang fucked with time first. Or at
I
least
really hope we're gonna see
future mother-in-law or whatever.
Yeah, I really hope we're gonna get a good MCU version of Secret War. I think that's a great bringing in point for
X-Men.
some mutants, and then once they get returned, those mutants are like, oh yeah, there's this better universe or something, and cross. There's ways to do it, but I think it's time we see a dark. I don't want them to be called Dark Avengers or anything, but it's time for a bad guy team up.
I mean, Thunderbolts, but are acting more like the Dark Avengers, like whatever Val's doing.
What the Legion of Doom / the Anti-Justice League, or whatever they were called, or Injustice League, or whatever, the group of bad guys teaming up, you know, Doom and freaking Kang and all sorts of big baddies. Like, let's do this, man. Let's make it happen.
Another really cool part of this episode, I thought, was when another Easter egg, was Mobius's listing, like 3 of the species he's dealt with. It's like vampire, Titans, Kree. Of course, and Titans meant he dealt with Thanos' people at some point, and vampires,
which were mentioned in Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, really? Which Thor were they mentioned in?
Korg, he with the stick.
Oh, like something was like piss off ghost or something.
No. He's got the weapons for the gladiator fight, and he's like, "How about this?" And it's a 3-pronged stick, and he's like, "Yeah, I guess it wouldn't work unless you had 3 vampires in a row." And
you know what that's really a reference to?
I know what it's for because it's what we do.
What we do in the shadows.
But
but it plays.
He
now,
still says
vampires,
and I mean they were. I have serious doubts about Blade at this moment. Not that
Well,
it's going to
they
get
were-
made, but the format and the casting, I think, is why it hasn't been talked about. I think you might be looking at it transitioning to TV, and that Mr. Ali was not necessarily satisfied with that. This is just me guessing, just by the feel of the industry, the feel of, Mr. Ali's star rising and his caliber, and I had this feeling that they were looking at maybe pushing Blade to a Disney Plus show, and I don't think that's necessarily what maybe even writers or directors involved.
Here's my theory, and it ties in to Loki.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the few stars cast in a movie that doesn't even have a release date yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Fantastic Four, we know it's coming. We don't have anyone cast. Like, that's why everyone was like, oh, like that's why I even thought we were watching WandaVision. I'm like, you're crazy if you think Reed Richards is showing up. That would have leaked.
You were against it. We were like, if it happens, that's a bad choice. Like,
and even like
this is not the reveal point for those.
Comparing looking for Kang than looking to Mephisto, it's the same thing. It's like we would have maybe heard something. Here, they've announced who's playing Kang in the Ant-Man movie that just started shooting while Loki was in early production.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, and I think maybe that's the same thing with Mashallah Ali or whatever. I can't pronounce the names. Marshala? Yeah.
I think that's
maybe
close. That's why I went with Mr. Ali.
Maybe he was cast so early that because he's showing up in other projects first.
Possibly.
Because that's how they do it with most characters. In fact, I read Shang-Chi will be the first. Maybe it has to be Shang-Chi, unless he's teased in. If he's not teased in Black Widow, Shang-Chi will be the third Marvel character ever to not be teased before showing up. Because of course you had Hulk and Iron Man were the same year, but then they teased the Shield, they teased Cap in a post-credit sequence, they teased the Hammer, or Black Panther shows up in another movie earlier, then gets his own movie. The point is, like, unless he's teased in Black Widow's post-credit sequence, so this person wasn't thinking, or actually they probably reviewed Black Widow and can say that he's only the third character who was never teased anywhere else, just to hop into a Marvel movie.
Yeah, possibly.
So that's my new prediction about Mr. Ali, is that we'll see Blade far sooner than we'll see a Blade film.
I hope so. He's a little older than I would have necessarily went for in my castings, but being in your 50s today, Paul Rudd and Mr. Downey Jr. have both proven, dude, 50s more like 40 back in the day, and a 40-year-old playing Blade is not that far off. When you look at Blade in the comics, you don't think he's in a 20-year-old's body. You're like, that's a full grown, like 30-something year old, 40-something year old body. So Mr. Ali could definitely do it. Guy's got great range.
I was so happy when they cast him, so I hope you're wrong that it's
I hope so too. That's what I'm saying.
I know you're just guessing. But...
Yeah. I found it really, really weird because they seemed to and again, that could just be Sony doing Sony. They seem to be like, boom, big shocker, vampires, Morbius, and fucking Vulture, Spider-Man MCU people.
Sony can't use Blade no more unless they get permission.
But
they have vampires.
That's the thing. And then all of a sudden Blade just it's like Comic-Con 2019 off the map. Like, it got a title card before some shows that now are filming had even cast anyone. You think like Miss Marvel, for example. They had a title card and all of that for Blade, and before we get a real title card or final card or whatever, and casting and writers and directors for Miss Marvel, it's already, in like heading towards post. Like, okay.
That's why I think they have plans. I don't
hope
think a guy like that would sign on for like, oh, we're gonna make this movie in like 5 years. You think he'll be available?
Yeah,
it's a Marvel project, but someone like him's not gonna be like, yeah, I'll stick around and like just make sure my schedule's clear.
I can't think of any other character that's been teased or announced and then used in such a way. And not saying that they can't, but I also don't see a lot of applications for him between.
That's what I was trying to think.
Except for
Moon
Doc
Knight?
Strange. If they go the TV route, yeah, but
Well, I mean, to have him show up on TV first and then get his own movie, he could be in Moon Knight.
possibly.
Oh, Doc Strange 2 is a really good spot. You could
It
just see him
is
briefly.
Doc Strange. Yep, and
Vampire
again, that makes me
Dimension.
nervous with the Morbius stuff, but we'll see. Let's wrap this shit up, Nick.
All
I think
right,
that's
I think
it
we
for
talked
the
it out.
show, isn't it?
What?
I think that's it for the episode. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. My cough's coming back, so we might as well.
Yeah. Thanks everyone. Sorry it was late. But you know, it's kind of cool to be able to still get this done, get it out to you guys, and we hope that you enjoy it. Let us know what your opinions on the episode Nexus event, or Nexus.
Yeah.
In the comments below or at the social media, if you can see the links in the YouTube video. If you can't, I'm at that Kyle Malone on Twitter. He's at Geeky Nick Doll on Twitter. And we have this awesome YouTube channel with all of our podcasts available, as well as several video series such as this one, the Daily Cog, the Daily Cup of Genre, every Monday through Friday. That's with myself and Manny, as well as, what else do we do on video usually? I think that's it. That's usually video.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but look for other things to be going to video. Animeversal Reviews. Midnight Run is a video series with myself and my wife. If you like anime and you like it spicy, not the H word. We're keeping it rated M, not X. But if you like the spicy stuff, check that out. Next week, the first series review goes up. We had like a little preview. It was just like a regular podcast, but we got some sketch comedy bits to go with this. So
Nice.
Look forward to that. And then so yeah, on the YouTube, hit subscribe and share with friends and family. And then wherever you're getting podcasts from, all those same podcasts, as well as Breaking Geek Radio, Star Wars Cantina. When Cobra Kai comes back, No Mercy will be back, and the Animeversal shows, both of those all go up, available for free in their entirety, cursing fully included. Fuck yeah. And I hope everyone had a great 4th of July weekend and a good Independence Day. So for all the American listeners out there. That's it, Nick. What else you got to say? Anything else?
Excelsior!
I guess that will be enough said from me, guys. We'll talk to you in a few days.
Oh.